Dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
Bundle up, bring your crew, and make this winter one for the books with Bachfest at Beer House. Enjoy winter brews that will tangle with your taste buds, polka dancing, games like Hammerschlagen, Stein Stamina, and much more. Bach beer will be flowing, and sausages and pretzels will be available for purchase. Doors open at 11 a.m., and the party goes outside until 6 p.m. before moving inside. VIP tickets are $75, but just $5 gets you in the door. Buy your tickets today at beerhousene.com for this Saturday's Bachfest. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're a veteran, our nation has created a wide range of benefits to thank you for your service. But it can be difficult to navigate the process of determining eligibility, filing claims, appealing decisions, and securing the benefits you've earned. Speak to your County Veteran Service Officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. These services are 100% free. So visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into the Dump Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, we got DeMornay Pierson-El on the Aloe VIP line where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Heyman text line if you guys want to join in. Facebook, YouTube, X, Aloe Channel 961. Also great ways to put a face to the voice. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on this Wednesday night? We are just a few days closer before we escape the grips of this icy hell that has been the Midwest for these past few days.
You know, taking it one day at a time. Today is better than yesterday.
Hey, that is absolutely true. I think I even saw the sun a little bit today. And the salt was actually just warm enough to melt with the help of that sun. So a little bit positive. Then, of course, we all know what next weekend, 55 degrees. And also, I do want to shout out because this weekend we will be not necessarily out of the cold, but we'll get some nice 20s, some nice 30s, maybe even flirt closer to the 40s. The Big Red Invite for Husker Bowling also kicks off this weekend. Number one in the coaches poll. They're, some polls got them number one, other polls got them number two. Either way, one of the best bowling teams in the country with one of the best bowlers in Jillian Martin. And they only get one all year, and it's free attendance. Friday starts at 9. You can go there on Saturday as well and Sunday, the final day, to figure out who wins it. And it's free. And they're doing giveaways each day as well for all spectators here. So definitely go check that out at Holiday Bowl here in Lincoln. I believe that's up on 48th, right by that Target up there. So be sure to support those guys if you're around. And then we also have Husker Hoops women's tonight. They're playing Oregon at home, and I believe that one is 7 or 7:30. So if you're heading out there, just drive safe. And of course, we're going to talk about the men's basketball game as well tonight. So, Marty, we'll talk about it before the clock hits 0 and just kind of give everybody an idea who wasn't able to keep an eye on it, how it's going for Nebraska men's basketball team right now. And then I want to talk about the NBA All-Star weekend. Where do you want to start? You want to quick talk about the women's side of things facing Oregon, or do you want to start with the ugly side of things, which is this Penn State game? That is not over, I should say. There's still about 8 minutes of play left.
Yeah, we can talk about the women's game.
Yeah, so the women, and let me actually double check the time here, because I believe they're tipping off. Obviously, those guys were out at home. The men's team is out there playing Penn State. They are without Burke, Bear, Utengel. So yeah, it did tip off already. Currently 4-0. Oregon's leading it. Huskers 17-9 on the season. Oregon, pretty similar stats. They are 18-8. And the thing about this Nebraska women's team is they're just kind of very similar to what the men's team have. Is like they have moments where they just look unbeatable. Like early on, you kind of felt Britt Prince had that massive game versus Iowa where she hits that three to send it in OT when they would eventually go win it. And then they had all of a sudden when they went out to the West Coast, it got a little sloppy. And I think it might have been that Iowa game to break it out of that. But, they got 3 games left, counting this one right here versus Oregon. And with their record, you want to make sure you probably go 2 out of the next 3 here just to give yourself a nice spot in those projections for March Madness.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had another season back to back of climbing the chart. They're right then and there. They might get more than they might get more than 2 out of the last 3.
Yeah, it's just up and down. Sorry to cut you off there, but it's just up very up and down is kind of my point. Like it's very similar to Nebraska where you just don't know which side's going to show up because the end of the stretch.
We've seen the boys kind of, fall off. I don't want to say fall off. We've seen them skid. And I guess you can kind of say it's the same thing, just in a different way with the females. So, again, basketball, I'm sorry, is a game of run. So, it's a long season. You got exams and everything like that. This might be, it just might be one of those times of the year where, fatigue is kind of set in, but, they can hit their second win and, kind of blast off.
Yeah, and then, let's hope for it. I mean, they're down 10-0 right now, so it's a slow start, very similar to what the men's side has been looking like tonight. And their last big win was where they banked Maryland on the road at that as well. 21-ranked Maryland, 91-71. They beat them by 20, but then in that next game, they lost to 25-ranked Illinois, 68-77. And before that Maryland win, they had about 3 losses in a row. So again, it's just you want them to clean up here so you feel better once they start looking at what that postseason play looks like and how they're going to seed in that Big Ten conference. Let's talk about the men now. The game's not over. There is about 7 minutes left. And for everybody listening out there, 402-464-5685, we will have the post-game show. When we get close to this game hitting 0, we'll probably end up wrapping the Don't Punt Hour a little bit short. You'll be joined by Austin Orman, Eric Strickland. So again, you guys tune in for all of that. And then once that's over, we'll continue on with Ticket Weeknights all the way up to 11 o'clock. So right now, 56-77. Penn State is up. 7 minutes left to play here. And just looking at the box score here, they're clearly having a good day shooting, 66%. The thing, though, that is troublesome is, once again, rebounds. 23 rebounds to Nebraska's 14. They got 6 rebounds to our 4. And then the other troublesome one is Nebraska's got 15 turnovers on the night. Now, Penn State's got 11, but the problem is we've got 6 points off of those 11, and they got 14 points off of our 15. And really, that number could be a lot scarier. So they're doing well in transition, but when you're confident up that many times, you're kind of just praying, hoping that they're not efficient with those opportunities. But thus far, they have been. Points in the paint, they are also just absolutely dominating Nebraska. They got 48 points in the paint already. I mean, that's just 8 points less than Nebraska's entire total for the night. I know the game's not over. It's a hell of a mountain to climb with 7 minutes left. What do you see in this game, and is it possible for them to somehow pull this one out of the hat?
I mean, you still have a chance. We've seen them, bounce back, but I mean, it's again taking care of business and showing up. I mean, you got Bryce who has 11 points. And I mean, I haven't seen him probably score under 15. I think all season probably.
He's got 15 right now. Bryce Williams. He's 5 for 9.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It must have. It hasn't updated yet, but from what I was looking at, you just have to have a better showing. The turnovers, as you said, rebounding. You knew what you were up against. It wasn't necessarily so much as them. It's more so of us. And again, playing down to your competition. Like we've seen this team play at a higher level, and it's not anything that Penn State, is doing. They got 70 points now, I think. If I'm not mistaken,
they got
80
to 58, 60 to 80 now.
It just updated. I just seen it. So we knew coming in that this team struggled getting to 70. They haven't gotten to 80. I don't think at all, or twice in these last 9 games or 7 game losing streak. So I mean, we've done it to ourselves. It's not like they're a dangerous team. They're not an Iowa. We've come back from a 20-point deficit. So, but again, you have to get warmed up, and you can't give them easy buckets and get them second and third options or try to outbound you, to out rebound you, and other things like that. So it's not. This is a game where you'll turn on the film like you hate to watch it, because I truly don't think that it's more of Penn State. Is more so, okay, we're not handling our business and it's costing us the game.
Yeah, I think that's the honest answer about it. I was talking to Austin Orman out there. He's been watching the game in between shows here, and that's kind of what he summed it up to, is just a energy thing. Like more of Nebraska just not showing up per se, because when you look at the numbers, I mean, it's nothing overly egregious for Nebraska. The worst person out there tonight is probably Juwan Gary, who's 1 for 7. I haven't seen what he's been doing really on the defensive end of the side of the court, though, so maybe that's not entirely fair. But in terms of shooting, yeah, certainly not a good night for him. But Nebraska's shooting 51% from the floor right now, and they're shooting 33% from the 3-point line, which, again, that's an okay number. If you're going to make 1 of every 3 from 3. And then you look at Penn State right now, they're shooting 65%. Some of they're hot tonight. Some of that is just kind of indicative especially when you look at the rebounds on top of it and how many points they're giving up in the paint. To me, that just says energy. And, that's my biggest concern was with Berke Berryuktengel. I know he is not the flashiest player, maybe not the most well-known player on this Husker team, but what he brings every night for them is energy, especially as of late. I really saw it, I believe, in that Oregon game, where I saw Berke look really comfortable in his role, kind of being that enforcer on defense. And I think tonight we're really missing it. And in Northwestern, we were certainly missing it in that first half. The difference was Braxton Mia really played much better in that second half, and he was able to be that enforcer. He grabbed 7 rebounds that night and was able to get just some really nice finishes inside and also just be a good rim protector. Without Berke, it feels like we're missing him a little more than maybe people anticipated. What's your thoughts on this with Nebraska? Just, again, shooting numbers aren't that bad, but the rebounds, turnovers, what they're doing inside is killing us.
You hit it right there on the head. I mean, even from the offensive side of transitioning of stuff or being able to get into the paint and easy buckets and everything like that. And, again, like you said, it's presence. Definitely, for sure, it is missed. This also could be one of those things where you kind of been on the road and you kind of, I don't want to say like jet lag, but you just kind of tired of going through the motions or whatnot. And I'm trying my best not to make excuses, but I mean, it is what it is. You still have to have a better showing regardless of if he's there or if he's not there. You got enough Division I talented kids. You got, dudes that practice with with each other or whatnot. Like, somebody has to step up. You can't rely on just certain people night in and night out to do it. Like, it's a team for a reason. So yes, he's there and whatnot, but the next man up, and this is an opportunity to take a step for somebody else or two individuals to kind of to combat what is not there.
Yeah, like you're seeing Gavin Griffiths. He got in there again tonight for Nebraska, 1 for 2. Again, I'm not sure what he's looked like defensively tonight. This is all just kind of looking off the box score because I'm not going to steal it. Well, like I said, we're going to have a post-game show. Those guys have had their eyes glued to it. They'll give you the full breakdown of what they saw throughout the course of these two halves here. But I'm just saying it right now. There's about 3 minutes, 48 seconds. It is 64-83. It is it's damn near impossible at this point that Nebraska going to come back here. So I'm just going to kind of leave it at that, 64-83. And real quick, let's talk about the NBA All-Star Game, and we'll let the post-game handle Husker Hoops, and you guys be sure to join in when they start that up. Good morning, Pierson-El. Just quick thoughts here. All-Star Game. Give me your thought. All-Star Weekend, I should say. Was it yay or nay?
Nay. I mean, it's lackluster.
Yes, it was.
Like, I think, I might have tuned in for like 10, 15 minutes, and I turned it off. It's just not the same. It's not the same excitement. It's just not the same appeal and everything like that. I don't know what they need to do to fix it or whatnot, but it's just a mess. And I'm not saying it's Stern. I'm not saying it's the game management, but I mean, the dudes don't even necessarily try. The old guard of the NBA are, there will be a time to where they won't be in there, and there's a lot more new generation, younger dudes coming in that, that wasn't a part of, when the KGs, the Tim Duncans, the Shaqs, the Kobe's, we had, true all-stars, superstars in there. The superstars aren't upholding, their part of the bargain to the All-Star Game.
Yeah, it's just, man, it sucks because what used to be one of the best All-Star weekends now is just nobody cares. That's not me oversaying it. It was so bad. The other thing that's blowing my mind is like the NBA loses this every year. They literally had Draymond Green, like the people covering All-Star Weekend were actively talking about how bad All-Star Weekend was while covering it. Like, that's insane. And then I'm not even blaming guys like Draymond Green or when he even handed the microphone to Hart. But like, you're Adam Silver. You got to do something. Like, they're openly bashing about how bad of a product this is for the All-Star Game. And I know like he's not hiring those guys, but they're certainly covering it. Those are your NBA players. I'm not saying you need to punish them, but you need to take a hard look at the All-Star Game weekend and figure out what the hell is going on, because your own guys are bashing it. LeBron James showed up an hour before and decided he's not going to even play in it. Anthony Edwards, a young guy who would have every reason to play in it, didn't play in it. Steph Curry, who won the MVP in his hometown, is such a lost story now because that's how much irrelevance the NBA All-Star Weekend has now. Steph Curry won the MVP All-Star. Nobody cares. It was in his hometown. Should have been an awesome moment. That's how far, the All-Star Weekend's fallen. Can you imagine back in the day, if Larry Bird and Magic Johnson going against each other in the All-Star Game, and say it takes place in Boston and it takes place on Larry Bird's birthday and he wins the MVP versus a really strong Western Conference team going all out to where it even gets physical and chippy. I mean, it used to just be an awesome show of elite talent and athleticism. And now you can say it's players don't want to risk themselves for injury. You can make a bunch of excuses, but all I'm saying is if we're going to make infinite excuses about why we can't have players play, we're getting to the point where you just need to scrap it. Like, it's getting just that bad. Maybe you do the dunk contest. Maybe you do the 3-point shooting contest. Maybe you do the Young Stars game. That's it. The All-Star Game is becoming totally irrelevant. And even the awards you get from it now, again, they're becoming totally irrelevant. The only thing that matters is you got listed to an All-Star team. The All-Star Weekend stuff, though, it's a bummer. Is there any chance of salvaging it?
This is the first time I think that I could, remember, and even if a superstar was hurt, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. I understand LeBron didn't play that last game or whatnot. I don't get, of him not saying anything, but the whole Anthony Edwards thing, like, I don't recall any superstar, from Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, to John Wall, Tim Duncan, Sean Kemp, I don't recall any superstar or anybody that has a strong pulling in the NBA purposely saying, "Nah, I'm sitting out."
Yeah, they say it's due to a groin injury. Maybe it's true. I'm just not buying it. Same thing with LeBron James. Like, maybe it's true. But it's just like
I don't. A lot of things would have to change for you for a lot of things would have to change for the game to be interesting or to pull some things in. You're gonna have to buckle down on some stuff or do some outside of the box thinking. I don't know exactly what, because of the style of what the game is, one, and then the way that the players play. I'm not saying you got to clothesline people. You don't got to Michael Jordan choke Reggie Miller out, or throw blows or anything like that. But it's just not the same intensity. Is the good on good is not going after. A show is not being put on. And it's just, honestly, it's a controlled game of horse, and you're wasting people's time because people do not want to see that.
I think if they just renamed it a controlled game of horse All-Star Weekend, it might sell a little bit better than calling it the quote-unquote All-Star Game. It's a game, but it's not a competitive one. It's more of a playground type of game. So, and the way those guys play it, it's very turns.
I think potentially to get people involved in it. And I know this is outside of the box of bringing in other leagues and whatnot, but I would like to see a 3-on-3, the big three league. Okay, y'all got y'all 2 or 3 best teams or whatever. Okay, y'all got y'all shot to play. All-Star on All-Star Weekend, because that at least that will rise, or you can mix and match the all-star teams with the young guys and everything like that. And I don't know exactly what you need to do to fix it, but I know the superstars playing the superstars, they don't care about the game anymore, and it's showing a lot. And they can't just put it on, well, the setup is this and this and that. You still have to go out there and show up every day.
Yeah, and that's man, we put up a reel on TikTok, and it's that kind of whole argument right there. It's like, why is the NBA declining? Is it just the love of the game? Is that the thing that's missing? Because when you look at a guy like Kevin Durant, that's very clear with him. Wrapping things up here, there's only about a minute left in this game. Unfortunately looks like they're going to lose it. They are going to lose it. There's a minute left. They're down 19 points here. Good morning, Pierson-El, though. I'll ask you this, and then we'll get out of here. It's Nikola Jokic's 30th birthday. Is he the best player in the world right now?
No.
All right, we're going to have to talk about that more tomorrow. That's the morning, Pierson-El. Harrison Arms on the ones and twos. Appreciate you guys listening. Nebraska men's basketball postgame show coming up. You'll have Austin Orman. I'm sure he'll be joined by Eric Strickland. Don't go anywhere.